Hi, welcome to Yoga with Melissa. For the past year, I've been teaching community yoga at Peshastin Library, and I'm really excited to be able to teach yoga to all NCRL patrons. Today we're going to go through a short little flow, doing different movements and kind of grounding ourselves down into our body and being aware of our breath. So we're going to start out in easy pose, so coming in crisscross onto your mat, planting that seat bone down into the floor, and we're going to bring one hand to our chest and one hand to our belly. Your eyes can either be closed or find a gentle gaze on the floor. And you're going to bring your awareness to your breath, allowing your breath to start to soften your body, soften the areas where you might be holding on to some tension, allowing your jaw to relax, your facial muscles to relax. And as you bring your awareness to your inhales and your exhales, visualize sending that breath down towards that bottom hand on your belly. Letting the focusing of your breath start to relax your mind. And let you settle into this space, into your yoga practice today. We're going to do a few more rounds of breath here. One more breath. And then gently let your hands come to your knees. Opening your eyes. If you had your eyes closed, we're going to move on down to our neck. Reaching out that right arm, allowing that palm to kind of hover over the floor, reaching towards the right side of the room as our left ear sinks to that left shoulder. Keeping your attention on your breath. And then inhale back, taking a breath here, bringing that left hand down as it hovers over your mat, sinking that right ear to that right shoulder. Maybe noticing if there's any tension in this part of your body, and allowing a little bit of relief there. And then inhale back, bring your hands onto our knees. We're going to do some shoulder rolls or shoulder shrugs. So just bringing your shoulders up towards your ears. Maybe take some nice cleansing inhales and exhales. Let's do 2 more rounds. Last one here. Come back to where you started. Taking a gentle breath here. Reminding your body to release and soften. And then we're going to open our chest and open the back part of our body. So as we open our chest, we're going to send our chest towards the front. Gaze can either go up towards the ceiling or out towards the front of the room, tucking that chin, curling that back. And just linking this movement to your own breath. Eyes can be closed or open. Let's do 2 more here. Last one. Now we're going to take that right hand, plant it down onto the floor, and open up the left side of our body. So coming into a side bend. So we're going to send that left arm up as we reach over towards the right side. If at any time there's any discomfort or it just doesn't feel good, you can always bring that palm onto your shoulder, finding a side bend here. And then inhale back to center. We're going to plant that left hand down, sending that right hand up towards the ceiling as it reaches over to the side. And knowing that bringing that hand to the shoulder is also an option. So just observing in your body how this feels and which one works best for you. And then inhale back to center for a breath. And then our next inhale, we're going to send those hands reaching up towards the ceiling. We're going to do a little twist. So we're going to take that left hand, bringing it down onto that right knee, sending that right hand back. As we inhale, we lengthen through the spine. Exhale, twisting. And still being aware of our breath. Exhale back to center. Inhale, sending hands up. Exhale, right hand comes to left knee, left hand comes back behind. Lengthening here through the spine. And twisting into this pose. And then exhale, release. We're going to make our way into tabletop, coming onto all fours, making sure that knees are directly below our hips, wrists are directly below our shoulders, and knowing that if any time your wrists get a little bit tired, you can always make fists with your hands to allow for a little bit of relief in those wrists. So always paying attention to your body and listening to those cues and making changes so it feels good in your body. So planting our hands down, we are going to send the front part of our body towards our mat. So kind of bringing those shoulder blades together. Our gaze is down towards the mat. And then we're going to press our back up towards the ceiling, pulling our shoulder blades away. So linking this movement to your breath. Let's do 2 more here. Last one. And then come to center. Extending out that right leg, tucking those toes, pressing into the ball of that right foot. And then finding that foundation, we're going to keep that left hand on the floor as we reach towards the front of our mat. Kind of feeling that lengthening in our body. And then releasing that back down. Let's extend that over to the left side, tucking those toes, pressing into the ball of that left foot. Feeling stable in our base, we're going to reach that right hand forward. It's still going to be touching the floor. And then exhale, release. And then let's do that one more time. Sending out that right foot, tucking those toes, and then bringing that left hand forward. And if you want to play with a little balance here, you can always lift that back foot off the mat, keeping that foot flexed. And then releasing that. Coming back to table, extending that left foot, pressing into it, reaching that right hand forward. And then if you play with balance on the other side, playing with balance on this left side. Releasing that back down. Now we're going to tuck those toes, coming into our first down dog, pressing into the mat with our hands, pushing up. Knees can be nice and bent here. They don't need to be straight. We just want to send those shoulders. We don't want those shoulders up by our ears. We want that to be opening in the side of our neck. And then on your next exhale, coming down into table. And we're going to slowly walk our hands back, coming into half stance. So we're going to inhale our hands up towards the ceiling. And then as we exhale, bringing our hands onto our hips, shifting our weight onto that left side of our body, bringing that right foot forward, coming into a low lunge, pressing into that right leg. And then coming back to center, bringing that knee back. I'm going to turn to the side here. We're going to tuck those back toes. Inhale our hands up towards the ceiling. We're going to come into camel pose. So as we exhale, we're going to make fists in our hands. Those are going to come back to our lower back, kind of where that curve is. And then we're going to inhale, our gaze comes up. We do a nice little back bend. And then release, untucking those toes, coming down, finding child's pose. And our knees can come to the width of our mat, sending those seat bones back. Doesn't mean our seat bones have to touch our heels. And then knowing if you need a little support for your forehead, you can always stack those arms or stack those fists and rest your head there. And then sending that energy back into your hands, coming back into tabletop, bringing your knees below the hips, tucking those toes. Let's find that down dog. Sinking those shoulders away from our ears, and knowing that our down dog, our feet can be wide here. They don't have to be 2 fists apart. So playing with that foot placement. And then exhale, coming back down, finding tabletop. Slowly bring our hands back, coming into half stance. Inhaling, reaching forward. Exhaling, hands on our hips. Shifting that weight over to the right side, bringing that left leg forward, pressing into that left leg. And then exhale back to center. Playing with our balance there a little bit. Inhaling here, finding that camel pose. Inhale, and as we exhale, making those fists, bringing those fists to our lower back. Opening up through the chest. This is somewhat pulling those elbows in together. Doesn't have to be a lot. And then exhale, coming down into table, finding that child's pose. keeping our awareness with that breath. And then releasing those hands if you had them as support for your forehead. Coming back into tabletop, bringing those knees in, pressing back into our down dog. Taking a few rounds of breath here. And then exhale, coming into table. We're going to swing those feet around, bringing our feet out in front of us. Inhaling here, and then exhaling as you reach forward, finding a forward bend. And make sure that we're keeping that spine straight. We don't want to be curving in, feeling any tension. Just go as far as you can, whether it's here, here, and then also knowing that you can bend your knees, relieving your hamstrings if they're really tight. And then inhale back to center. We're going to place our hands back behind us. Fingers are pointed away from the body. Bending those knees, placing our feet on the mat, walking our feet out to the width of our mat. We're going to do seated windshield wipers. So we're going to just allow those knees to fall from one side to the other. Let's do one more on each side here. Coming back to center. We're going to start to relax our body. So you can either come into easy pose, if this is a spot where you can relax. We're going to do a little bit of meditative breath work here. Or you can come down onto your mat. Feet are the distance of your mat, width of your mat, and then bringing those knees in together as support, coming down onto your back. And we're going to bring one hand to our chest and one hand to our belly. And gently closing our eyes here. Start to relax your body, relax your head, relax your facial muscles. Just allowing your entire body to relax and find some softness. Letting go of that tension. And noticing the gentle rising and falling of that breath. I want to thank you for practicing yoga with me today, and you're more than welcome to stay here if this calls to your body. Keep relaxing. Namaste.